So what's the magic number? How many weeks or months should we use stickers on our violin for? But what happens if you're just still struggling? Well, playing a mandolin, easy. With a violin, it's not so easy, is it? Where do you put your fingers? Is this in tune? Probably not. Doesn't sound like it. So what are you supposed to do? Well, if you haven't picked up the violin yet, you might be wondering where to put your fingers. And if you've heard about violin tape or stickers, you might be wondering, where do you put them? How do you put them on? Or maybe you've been playing with violin tape or stickers for a while now, and you're just wondering when you should take them off. So I'm going to answer all of those questions and more in this video. Hi, I'm Michelle, the Intentional Violinist, and this channel is all about sharing what I've learned through experience and research as an adult learner of the violin. Violin tape comes on rolls just like Scotch tape or duct tape, but it's skinnier in size and usually comes in a variety of colors. And your teacher probably has rolls of violin tape and will apply it to your violin for you if you'd like. It's no different than stickers, except that it comes in rolls of tape. You will take the tape or the stickers and apply them to your fingerboard, and then you will know where to put your fingers when playing notes. Now, the fingerboard is not varnished wood, so it's not going to hurt it. It will come off very easily in the future when no longer needed, but it's a really great instructional tool to help you when you're first starting out. Do you know what that note is? Unless you're coming from a musical background and can recognize and distinguish notes when you hear them, it's probably going to be next to impossible to know where to place your fingers on the fingerboard. When I first started, I wouldn't know if that was an E, which it was, or if it was an A or a C, or if it was just out of tune and flat or sharp. I couldn't tell you. So while you can certainly try to fiddle around the fingerboard and figure it out, or play with a tuner to tell you if you're on the right note, these strategies will only increase the amount of time it takes to learn the violin. Why? Because of muscle memory. Muscle memory is the ability to reproduce a particular movement without conscious thought, acquired as the result of frequent repetition of that movement. That means we need repetition, doing the same thing over and over again. If you don't know where to place your finger and you keep placing it in different spots, that's not repetition. By guiding our fingers to know where to go with stickers, we can easily repeat that movement and build our muscle memory. But remember the adage that practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. If you make the same mistake over and over, you're building that mistake into your muscle memory instead of the proper movement you want. By utilizing stickers, we avoid practicing mistakes, which is important because here's the thing about muscle memory. It's not that hard to develop. You might notice your fingers know where to go after as little as 10 repetitions. But if you repeat that same mistake 10 times in a row, it's going to take much longer to unlearn that mistake because now you've been building it into your muscle memory and have to unlearn it as well as learn the correct movement. The same reasoning applies to developing ear training as well. So if we consistently hear the correct note, we wire our brains to know what that note sounds like. But if you're constantly playing the note too flat or too sharp, or maybe even playing the wrong note altogether, it will take much longer to recognize the pitch. Again, this is why using violin stickers is extremely helpful in the beginning and something that I recommend to everyone that they use them at least for a short while. Have you used violin stickers or tape? And if you have, how long have you used them for? Or how long do you think new violinists should use them for? Comment below. I'm curious to hear. One thing I do want to address before we talk about how to put violin stickers on our violin is those big giant stickers that I've seen available on Amazon or even from some music shops. And whatever you do, don't get one of those big stickers that just goes over the entire fingerboard. The notes on a violin are not standardized like guitar or mandolin frets or piano keys. Where the exact note is can vary from violin to violin, depending upon the vibrating string length, which is the length between the nut up here and the bridge down here. So the length from here to here can be different on different violins. What I have on my violin might not be the same as your violin. And what that means is that where you put your finger to play E on the D string, for example, will be different than where I put my finger on my violin to play E on the D string. So when you have one of those giant stickers that you apply to the entire fingerboard, and every spot where you place your finger is kind of set in stone, that's not going to help you if it doesn't line up with the notes on your violin. Putting violin stickers on your violin, the really crucial piece of information to know is that you must have your violin completely in tune. If you're struggling with tuning and don't feel 100% confident with it, then ask your teacher to put stickers on your violin for you. It's really important that all 4 strings on your violin are completely in tune when you do this, because if not, then you're likely going to end up with stickers in the wrong spot. And again, you're going to be building improper muscle memory. Once your violin is completely in tune, play with your first finger down on one of the strings. It doesn't matter which string, but I like to use either the D or the A string as they are in the middle. So keep moving your finger around until the tuner tells you that you're on the correct spot for the note. And if you're on the D string, your first finger should be in the correct spot to play E. If you're on the A string, your first finger should be in the correct spot to play B. Once you find the note, keep your finger pressed down firmly on the string so you don't lose the spot. Put your bow down, grab your sticker, and place it on the violin next to your finger. The center of the sticker should be aligned with the center of your fingertip. If you're using tape instead of stickers, you'll want to align it the same way, but the tape's going to go across the entire width of the fingerboard. Before pressing the sticker down firmly, place your finger over the sticker or tape and play the note again, verifying that you have the sticker in the correct spot. If you don't, then just gently remove the sticker and try again. Once you've confirmed the sticker to be in the correct spot, firmly press down over the entire sticker to ensure that it stays in place. Now move on to the next sticker placement and repeat the same process. Generally, beginners learn the fingerings of 1, a high 2, and then a low 3. That's a good place to start with the stickers and the first notes that you're going to be working with. But if you want, you can also add a 4th sticker for the 4th finger. Now, I only use 1 sticker per space, but you could use more if you wanted. I've just found 1 sticker to be adequate when I was using stickers for learning. Stickers are great. They make learning the instrument so much easier, and they help you build muscle memory faster. But you shouldn't use them for too long. It's very easy to get into the habit of looking for where your fingers should go if you have that visual aid of the stickers right there. But let's look at what happens when you do that. You're turning your neck more because you're looking at your stickers. And then if your sheet music is right in front of you, you're not going to be able to see and read your music very well if you're constantly looking at where to put your fingers. Also, your neck is turned some, right? So you're not in this nice, straight, forward, upright posture, which is really just the best way to play the violin because it's going to prevent you from having injuries over time. Now, we're all going to look at the stickers in the beginning when we're first starting to play, and that's fine because we're probably not playing hours a day when we first start out. and we need to learn. We have to start somewhere. But if we can avoid looking at our stickers in the long term and focus on our sheet music and keeping our neck and our face forward, then that's just going to really avoid problems that come with bad posture that honestly could lead to injury over time. Another reason why it's good to avoid using stickers for too long is because when your eyes are telling you where to play, your ears aren't working that hard to hear if you're in tune. And if you're always looking at your stickers, then you're really holding yourself back from developing good ear training, which is essential to playing this instrument well. That's also why I like to use stickers as opposed to tape, because the tape goes straight across and tells me exactly where to play on every single string. But with the stickers, I am kind of gauging where to play on the strings that the sticker's not underneath directly. So it's giving me that same guidance as the tape, but it's just giving me a little less temptation to look every single time because it's not as easy as with the violin tape. So what's the magic number? How many weeks or months should we use stickers on our violin for? Well, there isn't really a rule as to how long you should or shouldn't use stickers. But when you start noticing that your fingers are moving faster and you're not having to think about placement as much, try playing without looking at your fingers. If you're still struggling to play okay, then try going back to an easier song that you could already play well and see if you can play without looking. If you can, then you're probably ready to remove those training wheels. Every new song we play will bring new challenges of different fingerings our fingers don't know yet. But if you can play a song that you know well without looking at your fingers, you can trust that your fingers know where to go. If you're practicing smart and effectively most days out of the week, then you should be building muscle memory pretty quickly and you won't need stickers for very long. And it's okay if your fingers don't always land in the right spot. You'll struggle with that a lot, especially as you're playing advances. But this is when you really start developing your ear, which will eventually guide your fingers. What if you're playing songs and you're finding that you're struggling to hit certain notes? You know, maybe every single time you try to play G, it doesn't get there. You know, you're playing too sharp or you're playing too flat. Then put your tuner on your violin and find G, see where G is. And then play the note before the G, and then play the G, and then play the note after the G. And then repeat that, just those 3 notes, about 10 times over. That should get you back on track. But what happens if you're just still struggling? Well, put a sticker back on, or 2, or all of them. There's no rule that says once you take your stickers off the violin, you can't put them back on. In fact, if you're consistently struggling to play a note, then it's a much better strategy to put a sticker back on your violin and build up that muscle memory properly and quickly, rather than just continuing to make the same mistakes over and over again, coding that into your muscle memory. But remember that you can do this. Some teachers may have started to experiment with placing a sticker or 2 on a student's fingerboard in the 20th century, but anecdotal evidence suggests that violin stickers have only been commonplace since around the 1970s. The violin has been around since the 1500s, so people learn to play the violin for centuries without the aid of stickers. So even though I think they are an absolutely crucial development in teaching the violin, which allows students to make progress faster, they certainly aren't something you need to rely on for years. Believe in yourself. I'm the Intentional Violinist, and if you found this video helpful, the best way to support this channel is to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you can join our community of intentional violinists. Until next time, keep practicing. You keep hearing people talk about different parts of the violin, or you've learned what some of the parts of the violin are, but you're not really sure exactly what they do. I'm going to walk you through all the parts of the violin and explain their rules and how you make music.